slaying.
Salama family, salama. How y'all doing today? Hope you're blessed and highly favored. So we're living in some interesting times. Just a lot of things going on. I can't keep up with it anymore. But today we're going to talk about, what is the true Exodus? Because there's a lot of fake things going on, a lot of false things, false prophecies. The whole thing with the Gog Magog war, that whole thing as well, which in my opinion isn't now, even though it looks like it. And there's a lot of false teachings, false Christ, all this stuff. I mean, everything the Bible warned about, that's what we're seeing. I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel overwhelmed. I feel overwhelmed with all of the people going into deception. I mean, from the Christians to the Israelites to the atheists to the Kimmy. I mean, all of them just like buck wild crazy, right? And those with eyes to see just sit back and go, "That's the devil. That's the devil. That looks like the devil. Yeah, that's the devil. There's the devil. The devil over there too." And it's right. It's real interesting because also, like the biggest thing right now is about the Christmas thing, and that's not what we're talking about today. But the biggest thing is the whole Christmas tree and all that stuff, right? And Christians be like, "But I got liberty. I got liberty. I know it's pagan, but I got liberty." Okay, but God say don't take on the ways of the heathen. I'm just, I was just confused, right? And so Christians be the first one to say, Bible. Basic instruction before leaving Earth. That's what they say, basic instruction before leaving Earth. I say, yeah, but you're not using it for instruction. That's just me and my rant, because I'm just overwhelmed. I'm just a watchman up here, and I'm seeing the hordes of demons coming down. Right? I see the hordes of demons coming down, and they got their military equipment, and they're rushing the castle and going over the drawbridge and knocking down doors and walls, and everybody like, ain't nothing happening. I don't see nothing. I'm like, y'all don't see all them demons, right? People teaching all foolishness, Kabbalah, Druidism, witchcraft, and they say they Israel. I'm sorry, y'all. I just had to vent because I get so overwhelmed. I do. I get overwhelmed because it's like sometimes I feel like I'm by myself watching a horde of demons rush the castle. And when you point out the hordes of demons rushing the castle, everybody act like you crazy. And you'd be like, you don't see them hordes of demons rushing the castle? That little priest over there, he not the most highest priest, he's the devil's priest. You ain't realize that? They look and talk and act Catholic, but they say they non-denominational Assemblies of God, all this stuff. I'm just saying, maybe it's just me. But anyway, what we're here to talk about is the real second Exodus. What is it? What is it supposed to look like? Everybody has their own idea what the Exodus is supposed to look like. We read certain scriptures and we say, yeah, that I think this is going to happen. I think that's going to happen. Oh, this needs to happen first. And, sometimes that may be the case. Sometimes it may not. But the devil always has a counterfeit. The devil always has a counterfeit. Always have a counterfeit. Look, like I said, you come out of Eurocentric Christianity, there's something else waiting for you there. You come out of Catholicism, there's something else waiting for you there. You wake up to be in Israel, there's something waiting for you there. There's a pothole every time you put your foot out. Thank you, AM Stone, for the gift. There's a pothole every time you step your foot out because the devil got a trap even when you think you came out of the matrix. So let's look at, we're going to be looking at a few videos today, and we're going to comment on some of these, right? Because everyone expects an exodus. The Gentiles expect an exodus. The Israelites expect an exodus. So the devil's giving you an exodus. The devil gave you a fake land. I know some of y'all Israelites think that land that they're in is our land. Yeah, there's no way you're going to convince me that's our land, but I digress. The devil gave you a fake land. He gave you a fake people. He gave you fake prophecies, and he's giving you a fake end time. Now, I'm not saying we're not in the end time. It's a bit obvious. But the scenario that's being played is one that was scripted. So they give you a fake people, a fake land, and they also giving you a fake exodus. Yes, a fake exodus. Let's look at some of this.
Come home.
Yeah, thank you.
Shalom, here at Arutz Sheva, we of course always like to greet new immigrants coming to Israel. Today, a special group, 5 girls from China who are Jewish descendants. They came here to Israel, and this is all part of the activity of the Shavei Israel organization. When did you discover that you were Jewish?
When I was young, maybe 7 or 8.
My father and grandfather told me we are Jew. We need to come back to come back to Israel.
What can you tell us about the feeling when the plane landed?
Wow, I can't tell, it's so exciting. I wasn't able to sleep yesterday. Yeah.
What was the feeling when the flight came landed?
Exciting.
Feel excited. Feel 神奇咋说 magic. Yeah.
Like magic.
Yeah.
Bezat Hashem.
Bezrat Hashem, with God's help. Have a good luck.
Tada.
What we're seeing here today is Jewish history in the making. The return of 5 young Chinese Jews on aliyah to Israel.
Once again, who's the real people? What's the real land? I don't know. What's the real exodus? I don't know. The devil didn't giving you a whole bunch of stuff. You got to decide which one is the truth, right? Who the real people? Where's the real land? Does it fit the prophecies? What does the Bible really say? One of the problems I have today is so many Israelites teaching false doctrine. You can't even get ahead of it. Like I said, you step out of one, you step into another. You step out of that one, you step into another. I'm like, when does it end? You get attacked by Christians because Christians think they know what they're talking about, but they don't, because they don't believe the Bible. What you mean we don't believe the Bible? We read the Bible. We just believe that we got faith. We got liberty to do. Okay, well, when does that liberty end? When God told you, that's how you all refer to him. When God told you, don't learn the ways of the heathen. I'm just asking, did he change his mind? Did he change his mind? That's all I want to know. And so now we got a bunch of people, and I got to be careful here because I don't want to get it shut down, right? I ain't gonna be mean. I'm trying not to be mean. Understand, family. Okay, if you understand what I'm doing, I'm not trying to be mean. Thank you, Brother Eric, for the gift. If you understand, I'm not trying to be mean. If you understand the complexities of YouTube, I'm not being mean. So understand that we got a people who say they are the people. It's up for you to decide who's the real people, who fits the prophecies. Oh, Deuteronomy 28 don't matter. Okay, all right, that's fine, because you don't believe the Bible anyway. We understand that. See, we're starting to understand how the Eurocentric Christians work. Y'all don't believe the Bible. I got it. It makes sense now. Okay, so these are the people. They're Chinese, right? Because why? Because Israel. Everybody knows Israel went into captivity. We know they went scattered amongst the nations as slaves. So they didn't lost their melanin. They didn't lost their phenotypes. They didn't lost everything. You cannot tell the difference between Japhet and Israel. So now we have an exodus that is supposed to be occurring, not according to scriptures. Yeah, Christians are going to tell you that what you just saw was according to scripture. No, it's not. So we have Caucasian white Jews who make aliyah. We have Chinese Jews who make aliyah. Who else do we have?
Manasseh. They're called B'nai Manasseh. And Chris Mitchell has their story now from Jerusalem.
You're seeing members of the lost tribe of Manasseh come back to the Promised Land. Recently, they joined with family members who had already immigrated to Israel for a tearful and emotional reunion at Israel's Ben Gurion Airport. This group is part of the largest group in the tribe's history, 218, to return from India and resettle in the land of Israel.
Today is one of the most happiest day for the B'nai Manasseh history, because we never had a large group like this that make aliyah.
The Jewish Agency believes the tribe of Manasseh is located in northeastern India in the states of Mizoram and Manipur.
We are convinced that they are Jewish and they are from the tribe of B'nai Manasseh. It's our duty to bring them, so we'll do that.
The flight from India to Israel lasted only 7 hours, but the arrival of the B'nai Manasseh has been a journey nearly 3,000 years in the making.
So, like I said, I'm not here to decide who's who, what the Exodus should look like. And I'm sorry, Warrior of Yah, I miss your gift. Thank you. And I'll just read it since I couldn't put it on the screen. Thank you, Tail Ministries, for all you do in the name of the Most High Son. Thank you for the gift, Warrior of Yah. All right, so understand. So we got Chinese, right? We have Indians. Now, I find it really, really confusing to me because what happened to the Sidi? Right? I guess the Sidi aren't Jews, right? They because they're Black Africans. Is that why? But they live in India. I'm confused. I'm trying to figure this thing out. So we got the Ethiopian Jews, right? We know them. We know them. We got the Caucasian Jews. We got them. We got the Chinese, and now we got the Indian. And so this is aliyah. It is supposed to be what? The second Exodus? What is the second Exodus supposed to look like according to scripture? I told you, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just asking questions because I'm confused. I'm just asking questions. I think we're allowed to ask questions.
ברוכים הבאים, אחיות ואחים שלנו. הגעתם ממרחקים, הפעם ממקסיקו. אנחנו מאוד מתרגשים לראות אתכם. אתם מסמנים את גל העלייה הגדול שבדרך, שיכול להתממש כהזדמנות היסטורית, אם נזכה לשיתוף פעולה מלא מכל הגורמים הרלוונטיים, גם בממשלת ישראל וגם מחוצה לה. זהו גל עלייה של הרבה מאוד אנשים צעירים. אנחנו רוצים לראות אתכם בתוכנו, אנחנו מחבקים אתכם. ביאנבנידס, ברוכים הבאים לישראל.
לא יכול לדבר כי יש לי הרגשות, אני שמח מאוד, מאוד שמח. תוביל לנו אינגלס.
We are so excited, so happy. Thank you for all of these, and we are home.
Thank you, White Collar Chick, for the gift. All right, so I'm trying to work this out because I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Okay, so we have Caucasians, we have Ethiopians who are Black, we have Chinese, we have Mexicans, we have Indians. 12 tribes. They're supposed to be family. They're supposed to be brothers. 12 tribes. And look, nothing alike. I'm just asking, is it me? I told you, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. So I'm trying to figure this thing out. And so I read the Bible. The Bible tells me that Israel going to be coming back from beyond the rivers of Cush. I'm sorry, y'all. Maybe I shouldn't be reading the Bible like that. Maybe I don't understand. I'm just asking. I'm trying to learn. Maybe I'm not reading it correctly. Because the Bible told me beyond the rivers of Cush. Where is that? Where is the river of Cush or Ethiopia? I know some supposed to come from Elam and things like that. You know, I'm just asking. There's a bunch of things that's supposed to happen before the second Exodus and when the second Exodus occurs. Thank you, Brother Rawls. I'm like, I'm just trying to figure this out. I mean, maybe y'all can help me. I told you, I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer. But at the same time, I don't believe everything that's fed to me either. I don't eat from everybody's plate. They has me confused. Now, there's a lot of things that the Bible talks about nobody wants to talk about. All they say is, y'all ain't the people. All they say is, y'all don't understand DNA. All they say is, what you read in the history book is misinterpreted because you are black and you just don't get it. That's what they keep telling us. So they say, well, you know y'all not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I say, okay, well, we're not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I think y'all a little worse than we are. I think you are not a knife. At least we're a knife. But y'all not even a knife. Thank you, MT, for the gift. I told you, Mama ain't raised no fools. Thank you, Brother Robert, for the gift. I'm just trying to figure it out. I ain't trying to make nobody mad. I don't need to fight because guess what? I see too much happening right now. Thank you, JSBS, for the gift. I see too much happening right now. I don't have time to get into foolish fights because I'm trying to figure out what they lying about. And I'm looking at all this stuff they trying to sell me. So like I said, I got Ethiopians, I got Caucasians, I got Chinese, I got Japanese, I got Ethiopian. What else I got? I got Indian, I got Mexican. I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're going to make it around the world of ethnic groups. Even though we're talking about one family, I mean, my family still look like me. Some of my family married other people. They still look like me a little bit. We're not talking about a whole genetic change. That dosicocephalic is no longer there. Now, some of them may not have the dosicocephalic skull, but I'm just saying, as a whole, family looks like family. Even if I go over to Brazil right now, and they've been mixing with some of them people, they still look like Black Africans, and some look a little mixed with the indigenous, but they still look like their family. I go to the continent of Africa, they still look like some of my cousins. I'm just saying. I go to Nigeria, some of them look like me and my sister. I don't get it, but I don't have none that look Chinese. Well, you don't get it, Minister Tayu, because you know we blended in with the rest of them. Okay, that's your game, that's your story. You stick with it, because I'm not. So there's some things that were supposed to happen before the second Exodus. There is a gathering of people, and we don't, because we're not taught correctly, and because we don't have spiritual eyes, we don't understand. Thank you for the gift, Sister Taylor. So because we've been taught a certain way, and we have a Eurocentric idea, or we have a camp idea, or people think this is our land, in America, which totally destroys any biblical prophecy if you say we're from the Americas. But I'm not gonna go there because y'all don't believe the Bible either, just like the Christians don't. Oh, what you mean the Christians don't? Well, like I told you, they believe some of the scriptures, not all of them. If God said don't learn the ways of the heathens, and you accepting certain things, then that's heathenistic. I'm just saying, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with what God says. Same thing with these prophecies. Y'all tell us we don't know what we're talking about, but I'm going with what God says. I'm not, you do you, I'm gonna do me. So there's some prophecies that's supposed to happen. Now let's go to the word. Because this is Ezekiel 37. The hand of the Lord was on me, and he brought me out of the spirit, out by the spirit of the Lord, and set me in the middle of a valley. It was full of bones. I know people make up all kind of stuff with this prophecy, but it's clear. He led me back and forth among them, and I saw a great many bones on the floor of the valley. Bones that were very dry. He asked me, Son of man, can these bones live? I said, Sovereign Lord, you alone know. Then he said to me, prophesy to these bones and say to them, dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says to these bones. I will make breath enter you, and you will come to life. So Israel was dead. The nation of Israel was dead. You're going to see, I'm not making it up. We're going to continue. I will make breath into you, and you will come to life. I will attach tendons to you and make flesh come upon you and cover you with skin. I will put breath in you, and you will come to life. Then you will know that I am the Lord. Thank you, say heart for the gift. So there's a group of people, and we're going to see that these bones represent people as we continue. There's a group of people who are dead that's going to come to life and come back together. How do people come together, family? How do we unite? How do we come back together as a nation? What do we do? So you're dead, and you wake up, you say, man, that was a long sleep, because, you know, you were dead, right? That was a long sleep. What we got around here? Oh, wait, hold on. What? Oh, that looked like my brother over there. Oh, that's my sister over there. Oh, hey, where y'all been? All of them wake up and say, well, you know, we've been asleep. We didn't know we were Israel. But let me continue. So they're waking up, right? And the Most High says, I'm going to make you all unite. I'm going to bring the bones together, and the skin and the sinews and the tendons. I'm going to make you all a nation again. I'm going to make you alive. Verse 7. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I was prophesying, there was a noise, a rattling sound, and the bones what? Came together, bone to bone. I looked, and tendons and flesh appeared on them, and skin covered them, but there was no breath in them. So what does this look like? What should I expect in human terms? How is this prophecy supposed to come to pass? Because they didn't know who they were, so they got to wake up. Once they wake up, they all going to have to look at each other and say, hey, we the same people. We need to come together. I'm just asking, am I twisting anything? It seems to me that these bones need to wake up, say who we are, start uniting again, bones to bones, flesh to flesh, them bones, them dry bone, them dry bone. I'm just saying, seems to me they should come together. Verse 9, then he said to me, prophesy to the breath, prophesy, son of man, and say to it, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Come, breath from the four winds, what? From around the world, the four winds, breathe into these slain, what? They were killed, right? They died, that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and breath entered them. They came to life and stood on their feet, a vast army. Then he said to me, son of man, these bones are what? The whole house of Israel. So who are these bones that were dead that are now coming back to life? Is this not what we should expect for the Exodus? So what does the Exodus look like? A gathering, right? I'm just asking. Does not an Exodus partake in a gathering first that we may come together? You have to wake up first to who you are. Thank you, Echo Bella, for the gift. Who you are in order to come what? Together, that you might have bones to bones, flesh to flesh, sinews to sinews. So these bones were what? The whole house of what? Israel. They say our bones are dried up and our hope is gone. We are cut off. Therefore prophesy and say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says, my people, I am going to open your graves. So we know that the bones are Israel. What? The bones of Israel. What are they doing in graves? What graves? They in the dirt? I'm going to open your graves and bring you up from them. I will bring you back to the land of Israel. Okay, so one thing we know, that they're not in the land of Israel. We know that the bones are Israel and that they were dead. Then you, my people, will know that I am Yah when I open your graves and bring you up from them. What? When he bring you from what? Your graves. But what happens before he bring you from your graves? Thank you, Sister Chantel, for the gift. What happens before he brings you together from your graves? Bones to bones, sinews to sinews, flesh to flesh, an awakening. An awakening. Then you, my people, will know that I am the Lord when I open your graves and bring you up from them. I will put my spirit in you, and you will live, and I will settle you in your own land. Then you will know that I, the Lord, have spoken. I have done it, declares the Lord. The word of the Lord came unto me, son of man, take a stick of wood, write on it, belonging to Judah and the Israelites associated with him. Then take another stick of wood and write on it, belonging to Joseph and all the Israelites associated with him. Join them together into one stick so that they will become one in your hand. So what has to happen first? Bones to bones, sinew to sinew, flesh to flesh. Waking up from death, I am Israel. Verse 18, when your people ask, won't you tell us what you mean by this? Say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I'm going to take the stick of Joseph, which is in Ephraim's hand, and of the Israelite tribes associated with him, and join it to Judah's stick. Now, look, I'm not going to play with y'all and y'all foolishness, and y'all tell me that, you know, the two sticks is the Book of Mormon and the Bible. I'm not going to play with y'all with that foolishness. That whole Book of Mormon and the Bible being two sticks. Come on, the Bible already told you who they are. I'm just saying, come on. I know some of y'all dumb as a doorknob. I'm sorry. I'm like, if you believe that, I don't mean to be mean, but I just don't understand how you can read this and think it's the Book of Mormon and the book of, you know, what we call canon. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be mean. I'm trying not to be. I just don't get it. I just don't get it, but I'll continue. All right, so I am going to take the stick of Joseph, which is in Ephraim's hand, and of the Israelite tribes associated with him, and join it to Judah's stick. I will make them into a single stick of wood. They will become one in my hand, hold before their eyes and sticks you have written on, and say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. I will take the Israelites, what? Out of the nations where they have gone. I will do what? Take them out of the nations where they have gone. What? I'm going to remove them from their graves. I will gather them from all around and bring them back into their own land. I will make them one nation in the land on the mountains of Israel. There will be one king over all of them, and they will never again be two nations or be divided into two kingdoms. So if the two sticks are Ephraim and Judah, and he's bringing them back to be one stick, and then we see here, it says there will be one king over them, over all of them, and they will never again be two nations. So therefore, the two sticks cannot be the Book of Mormon and the Bible. I'm just saying, come on now. They will no longer defile themselves with their idols and vile images or with any of their offenses. For I will save them from all their sinful backsliding, and I will cleanse them. They will be my people, and I will be their God. My servant David will be king over them, and they will have one shepherd. They will follow my laws and be careful to keep my decrees. But there's no more law, statutes, and commandments. So this event hasn't happened yet, but they tell us there's no more law, statutes, and commandments. But you're going to follow my laws and keep my decrees. Come on now. Why? Because those are laws. Those are instructions. What? Basic instructions before leaving earth. That's what they told me. But they don't want to believe those instructions. It's a guide. It's a standard of holiness and how to live. I'm just saying. I ain't talking about salvation. We always got to qualify because they don't seem to understand. So they will live in the land I gave to my servant Jacob, the land where your ancestors lived. They and their children and their children's children will live there forever, and David my servant will be their prince forever. I will make a covenant of peace with them. It will be an everlasting covenant. I will establish them and increase their numbers, and I will put my sanctuary among them forever. My dwelling place will be with them. I will be their God, and they will be my people. Then the nations will know that I, the Lord, make Israel holy when my sanctuary is among them forever. His sanctuary, what is that sanctuary? Y'all think it's just a temple. No, it is Yeshua, Yeshua in human flesh. That's what the whole tabernacle is about. That's what the whole Feast of Tabernacle is about. When God himself comes and dwell amongst his people. Look, family, handle Mikael Mosa and remove him. Keep an eye out on these jokers. Because understand, you ain't going to come here telling me I'm teaching false doctrine and I'm reading straight from the scripture. You need to get out of here and just be the nice little false teacher you are. So understand this. There's certain things that have to happen first. An awakening. An awakening. Israel has to awaken. An awakening of those bones, the whole house of Israel. For I knew that they would not hear me because it is a stiff-necked people, just like that Mikael Mosa. He's stiff-necked. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves. See, an awakening had to happen. That's what we saw, the dry bones. We saw the dry bones. They woke up and they said, what? We were dead. We need to come together. There needs to be an awakening. Those bones have to start coming together, bones to bones, sinews to sinews, flesh to flesh, and then the spirit. So the Bible says there must be an awakening. Ezekiel 6, 8-9. Yet will I leave a remnant that ye may have some that shall escape the sword among the nations. Because why? Because Israel was what? In their graves, what? Amongst the nations, when ye shall be scattered throughout the country. So this is when Israel went into the graves. And they that escape of you shall remember what? In the land of your captivity, you shall what? Remember yourselves. And they that escape of you shall remember me among the nations, whither they shall be carried captives. Because I am broken with their whorish heart, which had departed from me, and with their eyes, which go a whoring after their idols, and they shall loathe themselves for the evils which they have committed in all their abominations. So there has to be an awakening. What did we see in Ezekiel? We saw an awakening happening. We saw that those bones came together. There was a sound. There was a rattling. Those bones started making noise, saying, look, I am Israel. In the land of their captivity, where they were in their graves, they started waking up. And what did it say had to happen? And this all before the second Exodus. Not flying in on airplanes. Not just landing, getting off, saying, look, I'm here. I'm from China. Look, I'm here. I'm from Mexico. Look, I'm here. I'm from India. No, there was an awakening. Where's their awakening? From a people who were in their graves, who were scattered, enslaved, who forgot who they were. But yet the scripture says, and they that escape of you shall remember me among the nations. Baruch says, in the land of their captivity, they shall remember themselves. So there was an awakening. But what else had to happen? After the awakening, something else had to happen. After the awakening, the bones said, look, we need to come together. The bones said, look, we need to unite. The bones said, look, we need to build our nation again. We need to work together before these people enslave us again. Bones to bones, let's hook up. Not in the way that Americans use it. Flesh to flesh. Sinews to sinews. Let's build this relationship again. Let's build this nation. Let's recognize who we are. And then what happens? We go back to the land. Then what happens? We go back to the land. Is that not what you saw in Ezekiel 37? Go read it again if you don't understand. Jeremiah 29, 13 and 14. And ye shall seek me and find me when ye shall search for me with all your heart. And I will be found of you, saith the Lord, and I will turn what? Away what? Your captivity. You're not going to just get off the plane and be like, I'm here. I'm Israel. I'm making aliyah. No, you are a slave awakening from your enslavement, saying, guess what? I know who I am. And I will gather you what? From all nations. Is that not what we saw in Ezekiel 37? And from all the places whither I have driven you, said the Lord, and I will bring you again into the place whence I caused you to be carried away captive. So remember, there's an awakening. Ezekiel tells you all of that. Ezekiel 37 tells you all of that. There's an awakening. I am bones. I am Israel. Those bones say, let's get together. Let's work together. Those bones say, look, let's put this flesh together and these sinews together. We got to work together, else we're not going to survive. That's what the bones has said. Then the scripture says, but in the land of their captivity, what? They remember who they are. They come together. And then what happens? So remember, the bones coming together first. Bones to bone. Awakening happens first. Then bones to bones, they start trying to work together. Sinew to sinews, they try to work together. Flesh to flesh, they start trying to work together. They start looking like a nation again. We're in the bones to bones time right now. So here we see that in the land of their captivity, God is going to gather us. So then there's the gathering. So there's the relationship starts building after people have awakened. Oh, you know what? I'm Israel. There's this coming together. Say, yeah, we Israel. We're talking to each other again. We're trying to build together again. That's what's happening. And then comes the gathering. So what is the real second Exodus? Who are the real people? Who fits the prophecies?
Or remain in the field and without people and structures that facilitate the supply and demand mix, many impact investments simply will not happen. So the government has recognized that public funding alone will not be sufficient to meet the financing gap. Private sector participation has therefore been identified as one of the available options for addressing this financing gap and improving the quality of infrastructure services. Furthermore, Ghana is currently faced with the task of optimizing its debt stock and reforming its debt management. Hence, there is limited fiscal space to provide public sector financing for infrastructure projects. To meet the growing need of infrastructure investments, the role of private sector financing for infrastructure development therefore becomes very, very critical. Ladies and gentlemen, Africa, and for that matter, Ghana, is the future. And building it will be a collaborative effort between continental Africans and historical diaspora. Together, we can shape the future and revitalize our continent into the greatness it is destined for.
So understand this. Jeremiah chapter 29 says, and I will be found of you, saith the Lord, and I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all the nations. See, some people don't make the distinction that there's a difference between verses 13 and 14 and the rest of those verses. The rest of the earlier verses were dealing with the 70-year Babylonian captivity. Verse 14 is dealing with the what? Our captivity. How do you know that verse 14 dealing with our captivity? Because we're going to be gathered from all nations in verse 14 and from all places where I have driven you. saith the Lord. And he said what? And I will bring you again into the place whence I caused you to be carried away. Let me share it again. And I will be found of you, saith the Lord, and I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you what? From all nations. See, it's not dealing with the 70-year captivity of the ancient Babylonian captivity. See, some people don't know how to read and understand. And from all the places whither I have driven you, saith the Lord, and what? I will bring you back into the place whence I caused you to be carried away captive. What place where most of us were carried away captive? We say Africa, we say West Africa. What place specifically? The slave coast. What's the slave coast? Ghana. Now, look, I understand. I ain't a fan of the president of Ghana. I'm not a fan of I do, or whatever his name is. No disrespect. But understand that the Most High is going to deal with him and his what's the word? I'm trying to be careful here. His mandates. The Most High is going to deal with him and his mandates. But understand that as I showed you of the video of the woman who was speaking at the Wakanda 1 conference, which was in Ghana recently, and they're working together economically, they're working together politically, they're working together on all levels. What does that sound like? A nation coming together. Thank you, Sister Latrice, for the gift. What does that sound like? A nation coming together. What? Bones to bones, flesh to flesh, sinews to sinews, each little piece at a time. What do we have to build? First, we have to recognize who we were. We woke up. Then we had to come bones to bones. Then we had to come flesh to flesh, sinew to sinew. What is the economic engine? That's going to give the nation life so that they can buy things, trade, sell goods. We got all the resources. We just don't have the systems in place, right? So what are they doing? They are building that system. That nation is coming together. What? In the land that we were carried away from. You all could take it as coincidence if you want. But what's happening is prophecy is being fulfilled, yet it's not getting media attention. Prophecy is happening on a continent, but it is not getting media attention because they have a hard heart, their ears are deaf, and their eyes they can't see. Why? Because they hate the black man. But prophecy is being fulfilled right now. They don't get it. And so the devil has created what? A false nation with a false group of people, with a false exodus. So to distract people so that they think the prophecies are coming to pass. I'm not trying to be a hater. Understand this. When it comes to prophecy, you got to take it for what it says. I told you, I'm not dealing with you Mormon Israelites and, y'all hold two sticks is the Book of Mormon in the Bible. I mean, I don't see how y'all could believe such a foolishness, but I've seen some serious foolishness in these last days, and I'm not surprised anymore, and I'm not fighting it. You believe what you want to believe. You make whatever videos you want to make. I don't watch them. I know y'all be doing the hit pieces. People tell me, but it's all good because I don't watch them. You could do 100,000 hit pieces because I'm good. I still don't see how you could believe that the two sticks are the Book of Mormon and, anyway, I just don't see it. I don't see how you do it. So understand what's happening here is fulfillment of prophecy. It is the bones coming together.
Thank Her Excellency, Dr. Shahambri Floyd, for birthing the African Diaspora Development Institute, and the entire team for organizing the home of the Wakanda 1 City Return and Trade Expo. Congratulations, job well done. Thank you, program participants from across the globe. To our illustrious speakers and our moderator, also thank you. As you know, ADDI was founded with the mission of being the bridge between the African diaspora and the African continent. More specifically, ADDI was born out of the desire to bring Africa to the world and the world to Africa. Countless African diaspora and friends of Africa are keen to engage in commerce in Africa, but face challenges navigating the complexity of international business. The United Nations, through a resolution, has declared 2015 to 2014 the International Decade for People of African Descent. The second pillar of the International Decade is justice. Yes, justice is that second pillar. We, the children of Africa, must take what is rightfully ours to ensure justice is served. Thurgood Marshall, the first Black Supreme Court Justice in America, once said, "The legal system can force open doors, sometimes even knock down walls, but it cannot build bridges."
So, like I said, I'm not a fan of the president with his mandates, nor certain other people who for that. But understand that doesn't negate prophecy coming to pass. It doesn't negate that what fits Ezekiel 37 more than anything you've ever seen in history is what's happening here in Africa. What fits the prophecies of Ezekiel 37 is the awakening of the Israelites, the Negroes from around the world. What fits the prophecies is knowing that Israel went into captivity for their sins as slaves. What fits the prophecies is everything that says that was going to happen to the Negro in Deuteronomy 28 has happened to the Negro. People don't have to accept it, but understand this. I sit and I watch, like I mentioned in the beginning. I sit and I watch people deceived every day. I sit and I watch people following Eurocentric Christianity, thinking that they are following the word of the Most High. Look, I'm not saying some of them not saved, because that between them and the Most High, that's above my pay grade. If they faith in Yeshua and they're truly born again, that's cool, right? My whole thing is, are you living according to his will? That's the question. Are you living according to his will? Where is his will found? In the word. And I find, and it boggles my mind. I see a lot of Christians, they will ignore clear scripture. They will make an excuse. Yeah, I know it's pagan, but. Yeah, I know Easter pagan, but what? If you know it's pagan, then you shouldn't do it, right? But look, like I say, I'm not faulting you on it. Ain't my business. I have to do what's right for me. I have to live according to the light shown to me. So understand, the guy that we showed, right, was part of the Wakanda conference. And they're talking about the diaspora is key to working with the continent, to working with Ghana. Now, understand, I'm asking, I'm gonna give you one, Brother Aerospike. I'll give you one. Understand that what's happening is exactly what you would expect in the prophecies for Ezekiel 37. Ezekiel 37 says those bones are going to come together. Ezekiel 37 says that they're going to unite. Ezekiel 37 says that they're going to awaken to who they are. Understand, these are prophecies. Brother Aerospike, you are now a moderator. Understand that these prophecies are being fulfilled. How would you expect a nation to come together? How would you expect tribes that forgot they were related to start working together? How would you expect us to come together and rebuild a nation that was destroyed? How do you expect people who are in the graves, which were those nations, to come together and to start saying, hey, we're the people, we're the bones, we're coming together, bones to bones centers. How would you expect to do it? What? We're going to have conferences. We're going to have economic conferences. We're like the Wakanda one, they're building a city. For who? The diaspora. Like I say, I don't agree with everything that Ghana does and the way they're handling stuff. But understand that the prophecies are coming to pass and the world is blind. And the world isn't meant to know. They asked the Most High, they say, well, why do you speak in parables? Why? Because it's for you to understand the mysteries of the kingdom and not them. See, everyone who doesn't know, there's a reason why they don't know.
A good time to be an African. But as a member of this project coming up, can you describe what the expo will look like? Somebody is watching Trade Expo. What is going to be in place and who are the targeted audience?
Beautiful. As I speak to you, we have 36 diaspora companies signed up for this Trade Expo, beginning on Monday, December 6th, at Red Royal Hotel, Cape Coast. 36 diaspora companies have signed up to participate. Apart from that, we've had close to 80 Ghanaian-based companies. So we're coming together to trade.
Okay.
The target is ourselves. It's Africans women abroad. Every day we'll stream this live.
Okay.
So we are the target. If you are listening to me, you are the target. Tell your sister, tell your brother that Africa is rising. Africa is awakening. Join in. Don't sit by the fence and then keep on doubting us. It shouldn't bring the change. We change when we begin to believe, we begin to act on it.
So I ask once again, who fits the prophecies? Who fits the prophecies? Who has awakened? Who's coming together to work? The diaspora has never, ever, since we were released from slavery, had come together with the continent like they are now. Is that not what we see in Ezekiel 37? What do you expect to happen to a people who were dead in their graves, scattered amongst the nations as slaves, do when they wake up? Family needs to come together. Family needs to work together. Family needs to help each other. That's what's happening. See, all of those people who are talking about black crispy Africans, they're infiltrators. They're Freemasons. They're agents. They might look like you, but they're not. They want to keep you in Babylon. But understand, as I mentioned before, there's prophecies that's been happening. Our people are going over there to do the work. What work? The bones to bones, the flesh to flesh, the sinews to sinews, the economic relationships. This has been going on for a while. Now, as you all know, the Dry Bones Project is all about that. And there, and I'm not gonna show everyone, but except for the end of the video. But understand, one of the first ones out there who doing the work, teach me.
So I'm gonna let my wife have the floor first. You know how that goes. So go ahead, let's tell the people what we need to talk about.
So the first thing we're going to talk about is the steps we took once we actually decided that we wanted to move from America to Rwanda.
These heels, that will keep you in shape. You won't have an excuse to be out of shape. You see how we've been walking? The heels that we have and the views. The views. Show them the views, baby. Wow, look at that tree by the lake. Come home, y'all. Please, come home. It's beautiful and peaceful over here.
This is the bones to bones. This is the flesh to flesh. This is the sinews to sinews. And so now you have Israelites who are over there doing the work. Stepping stones to home, journey with us. We have people over there who are doing the work. What? It's part of the Ezekiel 37 prophecies, and people can't see it. And just as I mentioned before as well, even though we have all of these good prophecies coming to pass, we have the bad as well. We have the right at the door, a possible World War III scenario about to happen. Right at the door, we have a possible World War III. We also have the greatest deception I've ever seen in my life. Israelites denying the Savior. We have Israelites denying the Savior, the Lord who bought them. They're denying him. We have Israelites who are into witchcraft. I'm serious. I'm not lying to you. We have Israelites who are into witchcraft. Whoever would have thought such a thing? And so some of y'all want us to unite with people who are in the witchcraft. Some of y'all want us to unite with people who denies the Savior. It is not going to happen on this channel. It is not going to happen on this channel. It's enough dealing with the falsities and the manipulation and the lies of urban apologists and all of these others. But to deal with your own people and their foolishness is exhausting. It is exhausting. It's bad enough to deal with people who already think, okay, well, I'm doing the best I can. I'm living for the Most High. But to totally abandon what the scriptures tell you, to go into witchcraft, I'm sorry. I thought Mormonism was bad. I don't know what to say anymore, but I'm not stressing. I'm not stressing because I know it means that our Exodus is near. I'm talking about the real second Exodus. The real second Exodus is near. The prophecy you seeing happen right now is Ezekiel 37. The final part of that Ezekiel 37 is the regathering of Israel, which is the regathering of those bones. So what I'm seeing is the fulfillment of prophecy. And what I'm seeing as all hell breaks loose and the devil has gone buck wild, and I'm watching people who are deaf, dumb, and blind go on about their life, getting excited because people who are what we call stars and famous recognize they're Israel. Well, guess what? The devil believe and tremble. Look, when they show me a rapper and an actor and all these people who say they Israel, you know what? I don't care. I'm asking you what you're doing for the kingdom. You got money, you Israel, but you ain't no better than a heathen. Why? Because you ain't doing nothing for the kingdom. Oh, I might lose my job. I might not get hired anymore. They're going to do to me like they did to Ice Cube, and I'm going to lose millions of dollars. Well, at least Ice Cube turned it down. He didn't give in to his moral conviction, give in towards his against his moral conviction. But it don't matter that these rich folks and these entertainers know they Israel. Half of them caught up in the occult to begin with. Half of them are Luciferian Freemasons. Half of them have sold out. I'm not naming names because I don't know, but I could tell. There's a lot of people who are going to say, Lord, didn't we do these things in your name? He's going to say, I ain't know you. Look, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. That's what I keep trying to tell y'all. I've never seen anything like it. But now we have a fake Exodus and we got the real one on its way. So I want to thank all of you all who support this ministry. I want to thank all the Cash App givers and the smart chat, super chats, and our patrons. Definitely thank you all for supporting this ministry. And also, fam, make sure to go ahead and support the Dry Bones Project, right? Because that's all part of the Dry Bones prophecy, right? We want to be a part of that. We want to be a part of the Dry Bones Project. So support this ministry and all of those who are part of this Dry Bones Project. Share this video and, make sure you stay on that straight and narrow path. Peace and blessings, Israel. Your captivity is ending. Love you with the love of the Messiah.